What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're looking at the ruby birthstone, which obviously is July's birthstone. Now with the last 6, I got tired of juggling between, I think it ended up being like 4 different websites and not really ever getting sort of a clear definition. And I've just come across a website that starts off with a very short sort of meaning, like just sort of like a coverall definition, you know, a TLDR basically. Then it breaks it down into a spiritual meaning, an emotional meaning, a wellness meaning, and then finally gives us a nice little sort of personality bits within the birthstone part itself. So I love that I found this. So I'm just going to read what it has for the ruby, and hopefully this will give you enough information, my July babies, that you'll fully understand your birthstone, and in particular what parts of its meaning reflect themselves in your life. So the coverall reads, the ruby is a lustrous deep red stone that has accrued special and symbolic meaning through time. Through the ages, the ruby has represented nobility, purity and passion. So you're probably very noble people. Maybe not so much chivalrous, but definitely noble. You have noble pursuits, noble intentions. You're quite pure, whether that's pure of heart, pure of mind, pure of spirit. Obviously you can't be pure in all things at once, because sort of once you become pure in you know, pure of heart and have no sort of selfish intentions, you know, you can't really be like pure of mind, because if you're pure of heart, that's also going to mean that you're going to sort of stand up for those you hold dearly in your heart, and you can't do that and still be sort of at peace in your own mind, because conflicts are going to, it just can't be done. And you're also very passionate people, which from our cancers, our lovely little crabby babies, being ruled by the moon and being a water sign, you know, sort of the emotional center of the zodiac, to our Leos, who are also in this month, our fire signs ruled by the sun, basically the polar opposite that you could go. But yeah, still nobility, purity and passion would be things that I would say both signs share. So from ancient times through the modern day, rubies have been valued by cultures around the world, it finishes. Alright, the spiritual meaning. It reads, the ruby is known as a protective stone that can bring happiness and passion into the life of the wearer. Apart from its red colour, which obviously is going to be a factor, this is why the ruby makes a perfect gift for a loved one, or on occasions such as Valentine's Day or an anniversary. Okay, so it brings happiness and passion into the life of the wearer. The wearer would be you, because this is your birthstone, so you wear it as sort of your spiritual stone, just every day, even if it's not physically on your person. So what we can take from that is that you bring happiness and passion into the lives of people around you, right? If you're in your social circle, then that circle, you know, if you looked at the circle as being a ring, then you are the ruby on top, sort of a thing, meaning that whole ring would be happy and sort of full of passion. And that could be passion as in like passionate relationships, or it could be passionate in the sense of about a particular social issue, or it might be a particular career path that people are passionate about, and that's the thing that bonds you guys all together. It could be anything. And obviously different social, you have more than one social circle. You've got your friends, you've got your work colleagues, you've got your families, and in that obviously I'm referring to extended families. And so there's always going to be a different element as far as passion's concerned that you can bring into that. So yeah. Because the ruby's hue is close to the colour of blood, which carries oxygen to all parts of the body, the gemstone also represents vitality and vigour. So you're very full of life, basically. You have a certain zest for it. Now, that could come out in a sense of being adventurous and wanting to seize every experience and be open to every new idea, so that you can change maybe your own perspectives on things to live an even better life in the future. Two, it could be that, going back to that passion thing, that you are passionate about, all of the sort of major social issues that need changing, because for you, having that zest for life translates into wanting that same zest for life for everyone else, and so you see these broken systems as barriers between them and being able to live with the same level of vitality and vigor as you. So again, vitality and vigor can be it's all up to interpretation. So however it relates to you, however you look at in what ways am I full of vitality? In what ways do I have a certain zest for life? Is it more of an extroverted, adventurous type of way? Is it more of an introverted sort of way of you just want to improve the lives of the people who you've chosen to surround yourself with, even if that means you're not really open to new experiences and stuff? In what way does it fit you? It's also believed that rubies had the power to align and lend energy to the body. So people probably find that they feel better when they're around you. Now, whether that could be in a emotional sense, which is obviously sort of the first one that you would come to, they just generally feel happier when you're around. It could be in a physical sense, in that, in sort of like an addition to that emotional sense, they're not really thinking about any of their bodily aches and pains. Maybe being around you motivates them to be more physically active for one reason or another, and therefore, physically they're better off because of you. It could be mentally, maybe you challenge their not just their knowledge, but their ideas and their perspectives. Maybe you challenge them intellectually and mentally, and it could be spiritually. Maybe they've got some deep-seated beliefs that you either have helped them come to realize as being, good or bad. And in the case of bad, maybe you're helping them to develop into being a better person spiritually and holding, fairer beliefs, or, more humanitarian beliefs, or whatever it might be. The ruby is also believed to protect the wearer from negative entities that leach positive energy, promoting spiritual vitality and wellness overall. And that could be the main reason people flock to you, is because when they're with you, they know you don't take no BS, and that if anyone tries to leech the happiness out of the room that you've brought into it, that you will immediately shut that down and sort of, if you have the ability to, you'll politely ask them to leave. I would hope politely. I don't want to think about you guys getting into fights, but obviously some of you guys are ready to throw hands if it comes to it, because that passion can quickly spark into hostility. You can be quite passionate about a belief, and that's how, especially if you have two people who are passionate about opposing beliefs, that's how rivalries and conflicts generally start. Alright, the ruby's emotional meaning. So it's long been representative of romantic love. So, excuse me, I can feel a sneeze coming. Gonna come. There it is. So yeah, long been representative of a romantic love. So you guys are quite the romantics, perhaps. And it might be, it could even be like the last thing people would expect from you. Maybe they look at you and they see you being really passionate about these social issues and being really open and adventurous to new experiences and ideas. And the last thing they think when they look at you is that you would hold traditionalist romantic views. But that can also go back to your sense of nobility. Maybe it is, in your case, sort of a chivalrous sense of wanting to treat your partner right, in sort of that more traditionalist way, which really just flips the script on everyone's perceptions of you, which obviously would then challenge them to be open to new experiences and new ideas the same way that you are. It's also said to inspire devotion and faithfulness with a romantic relationship, which are always good things to have. Devotion and faithfulness, I would say you combine those with communication and you've basically got the perfect relationship. I don't know how I can get much better than that. Like if you'd be a ride or die and you just talk things out when there are issues. If that's not the perfect romantic relationship, I don't know what is. But yeah, it's so entwined, the ruby, with this whole idea of romance that French jewelers in the 1800s referred to the ruby as the dearly loved stone. The fiery red colour and the sparkle that it has within it can inspire sensuality in the wearer. So I'd say that this is probably more of a Leo trait than a Cancer one, but obviously Cancers can have it too. Traits are not exclusive things. But the only thing that comes to mind with, as far as sensuality is concerned, is maybe you're a bit of a flirt as well, which could mean that even though you're like inspiring devotion and faithfulness within your romantic partners, maybe that's also a thing, like your flirtatiousness might also be something that they, when they're with you, they notice a lot more, especially when you're talking to other people. So it is something to sort of be mindful of. I myself have a friend who is a bit of a flirt, and that's just part of who he is. There's nothing wrong with it, obviously. That's just a part of who he is. And his fiancée is well aware of it and is fine with it, because she knows that it's just how he interacts with people, just like on the daily sort of thing, if he's saying thank you to like the young girl behind the counter at the shopping centre, he might say, thanks love or whatever. He doesn't actually mean that he like loves them. It's just part of who he is. He's just a bit of an old soul, bit of a flirt, likes to make people feel good. The irony is he's not either. The ruby is not his stone. Ruby is not his stone. But yeah, that's just who he is. And you might be the same way. Romantic connotations aside, the ruby is also a beautiful, versatile stone for anyone to wear. It's said to promote self-care in the wearer. So self-care might be a big priority for you. You might see self-care as a way to not only sort of treat and maybe even prevent mental health issues, but also as a way of keeping in good health, making sure that you've got a good life, work-life balance, all that sort of thing, and help you feel like you're growing in every potential way you can, whether that be spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever, as well as obviously, working towards all of these big dreams that you've got. You wanna fully realize them. Self-care could be, basically your answer all, your cure all to how do I get to here? And, your answer might be it starts with taking care of yourself. It also inspires confidence to tackle all aspects of life. So people might look at you and you inspire them to be more confident in a particular area. You might really be that friend that's like everyone's biggest fan, because you see them have this dream and you know how much it means to them. And obviously you want to reach your dreams and you would hope that they'd be there for you. So you're just trying to be that person for them, which is admirable as well, just in and of itself there. The ruby is often said to decrease anxiety. Maybe I need to get a ruby. And self-doubt. I definitely need to get a ruby. But yeah, no. That means that hanging around you, in addition to the inspiring confidence, you also help alleviate their self-doubts, and you potentially hanging out with you, even if it's just while you're around, it eliminates all their anxieties. They might be embarrassed if you do something outlandish and wild and adventurous because you're like, you only live once, let's do it. And they might be like completely embarrassed by whatever action it is that you take. But at the same time, they're not going to just, they're not just standing there being embarrassed like, oh my God, don't do that. They're probably laughing at you and with you and living vicariously through you, and in such a way also means that their anxieties are slowly melting away because you are in their life. It's also a gemstone that encourages the wearer to live fully and embrace whatever happens, which sort of comes with what I was just saying as well. You're sort of the spontaneous friend. You're the go with the flow friend. You're just as comfortable hanging out and just talking as you are, going skydiving together, or maybe you really want to go exploring caves, or swimming with the like in shark cages, or whatever it might be. You could be like the biggest daredevil that your friends know, but at the same time you've got this like infectious zest for it, that they can't help but want to do those things with you, not because they want to do those things necessarily, but because specifically they want to do them with you, because it's just going to be a better experience all around. It also allows the wearer to see their own strength and potential from the perspective of their own heart. So when people look at you, reflected in you, they see maybe everything they want to be, and that's why they're inspired to be more like you and to hang out with you and to do all these crazy, wonderful things with you. It's because they see it as like the thing. The ruby, it says here, is also often given as a gift for 15th or 40th wedding anniversaries. Alright, our wellness meaning is a nice short little one. In crystal healing, the ruby is used to alleviate body pain and help with blood and circulatory problems, low energy, heart problems, and detoxification. So, if we try and turn these into personality traits, alleviate body pain, you may have a high pain threshold. Blood and circulatory problems, basically like you're not really gonna sort of, unless it's in your family history, circulatory issues are probably not gonna be a major concern of yours, potentially ever, which is really nice to know, obviously. Low energy means that you're it sort of speaks to me as, and I don't sort of mean this in a judgmental way, but that you're probably more extroverted, just because I know that like severely introverted people lose a lot of energy in social situations very quickly, and if you're sort of the remedy for that, you're probably gonna not be that introverted, because you might consider yourself an introvert, but you potentially have higher levels of energy than other friends that you may have who also call themselves introverts. And then the heart problems sort of goes with blood and circulatory problems, but the detoxification probably means that you can handle your liquor. Maybe it's a case of, you can go, you might be able to drink all your friends under the table, or it could be that if you have the same amount as what would get one of your friends really drunk, that you can wake up and not have as bad of a hangover as they do, or whatever it might be. It could be that you might be a lightweight, but you just don't get hangovers because you have this detoxification thing for yourself. That's sort of the main one that comes to my head. There could obviously be other things, like maybe you're able to notice when people are being toxic or when a situation is toxic, and you're able to just immediately remove yourself from it. That could be another interpretation there. In history, rubies were rubbed on the skin to promote vitality and youth. So you probably always get told that you look maybe younger than your actual age, which, unless it's affecting your ability to get a romantic partner because they think you are still under the age of consent, should be taken as a compliment. Everyone wants to be young, or at least look it, and if you can look it, and obviously with like the high energy and the more of a zest for life, you're acting younger as well, which probably makes you feel younger, if we're being honest. Being told that you look a particular age, acting as if you're a particular age when in actual fact you're older than that, probably would sort of all go hand in hand as to why people think you're actually that age. It's also said to promote overall wellness in areas and inspire better health. And then last but not least, to finish this video off, although it carries special meaning for many people, the ruby is especially valued as a birthstone for those born in July. This birthstone is said to bring good luck and protection, and its fiery colour complements the outgoing and passionate personalities of those people born in this month. Moreover, it represents passion, power, courage, and love. All things that we've spoken about in this video. Birthstones were originally based upon religious and spiritual significances, does not tell me what those religious spiritual significances were, but that meaning did change in the Western world. In 1912, birthstones were standardized, giving us the expansive list that we know of today, which is the same list that I've been going through for all of these birthstone videos. But that's all it gives me for the ruby. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. It's the one that's the same color as the ruby. And then hit the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. I will leave the link for the website I used in the description down below in case you want to read it yourself, or maybe you have a July baby that you know that you think this fits really well to and you just want to send them that so they can read all of these things and interpret it themselves. If you liked this video, please give it a big old thumbs up, and until next time guys, keep your head screwed on.